We're taking a break in this episode to quickly tell you about Anchor.fm as a fantastic podcast recording software. So, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me tell you, it has been the absolute easiest way to make a podcast in my experience. I just switched over from a different podcast software about a month ago. Anchor has everything all you need in one place. And it has been the best experience in my 2 years of podcasting that I've had so far. So Anchor has all the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Being able to record from my phone has been such a game changer because I can be out and about, I can be in my yard, and I swear it doesn't even pick up the background noise that much. It's been incredible. So when hosting on Anchor, you can also distribute your podcast on other listening platforms like Spotify and Apple, so you can reach a bigger audience. This has been everything I've needed to make my podcast, and it's super simple. It's super simple. It's very intuitive. It's very, very easy to get started, and it's free, the best part. So, if you are an aspiring podcaster, you're an already established podcaster, or you're just someone who wants to learn about podcasting and has had a dream to have a podcast and wants to get started, I highly recommend getting started with Anchor. Just go to download the Anchor app, Anchor, onto your phone, or on desktop, you can go to anchor.fm, Anchor.fm to get started today. Happy podcasting, everybody. Are you a mom that's currently trying to figure out how you're going to manifest your goals this summer while the kids are on summer break? Maybe you started out the year with the best intentions. You journaled your desired manifestation and you worked towards it for the first 5 months of the year. But now that the summer is here, your schedule has changed and you might need the extra support to move forward. Don't worry, all is not lost. I'm offering a summer 1-to-1 mini intuitive coaching session for moms who desire that extra boost and support to help you stay on track and to use your intuitive power to get super aligned in what you're desiring to manifest in your life and your business. So it's a session where we'll dig deep into your intuitive power and we'll go into what you can quickly implement to get your goals moving this summer, even with the kids at home, with different schedules, with going on vacations, and all of those fun things that come with the summertime and being a mom. So if you're ready to jump into a supercharged session where we go deep and start to unwind some of your underlying stories and resistance, then my 1-to-1 intuitive coaching session may be what your soul is calling you to do. Think of this as unlocking your intuitive power, where we dig deep into your inner self so you can unlock your next steps towards those big, wild goals that you're desiring to manifest into the world. Because our goals don't just stop when summer comes, right? So this is a way for you to keep that momentum going. The session comes with 3 days of Voxer access so we can exchange ideas after our 1-to-1. Also included is a mini intuitive card reading so you can set the tone for your manifestations that you want to bring to life this summer and beyond. So go to the link in the show notes to book your session so you can unlock your intuitive power this summer and set yourself up to manifest your biggest goals. You found this podcast because you're a mom who wants to disrupt what is expected of you. You're passion-focused, purpose-driven, and ready to break through to your own version of success and finally build a life and business that is totally on your own terms and led from your inner guidance system. You're not interested in replicating what someone else told you was successful. You're 100% ready to design your own reality in life and business, and you're here for it, all of it. I see you, I hear you, I am you. So let's get started in turning our dreams into bite-sized actionable steps to launch forward toward our dreamy, soulful, fulfilling, and joyful lives and businesses. Welcome to the Moms with a Purpose show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Confessions of a Working Mom podcast. On this week's episode, I am talking to Lani Jackson. Lani is a clarity and strategy coach for mom entrepreneurs. She helps them double their income without doubling their to-do list. And her mission is to help mompreneurs get out of survival mode, release the mom guilt, and create a clear plan of action that will help them reach their dreams of 5K months and more. Lani's also a mom to 6 kids, wife to her husband of 15 years, and she survives on caffeine, laughing with her kids, cooking in the kitchen, hiding in the pantry, eating chocolate, and helping other women know that they are not alone in the chaos of motherhood and in their entrepreneur journey. In this episode, we talk about all things related to investing in yourself as a mom. So often we put our own desires, goals, and dreams to the back burner when we become parents, when we become mothers, because we're just taking care of everyone else's needs. But we really dive into this conversation today just about really taking the time to invest in yourself. It's super important. And it can be as simple as listening to a podcast like this one. So I will stop talking and so we can dive right in to the conversation with Lani. So here we go. Hi, Lani. Welcome to the Confessions of a Working Mom podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm so excited to be here and talking to you today.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, sort of your background, and anything else that you want to share with our audience?
Absolutely. So as you said, I'm Lani Jackson. I am a strategy and clarity coach for mom entrepreneurs. I help moms double their income without doubling their to-do list. That's really important to me because as a mom, I know how long a to-do list is. I'm a mom of 6, although I like to say sometimes it feels like 6,000 kids because I wash 6,000 loads of laundry a week, it feels like. So I do have 6 kids. Half of them are adopted from foster care and the other half are biological. So we have 4 boys and twin identical girls are the babies, and they are the rulers of the house. For sure. So I started out my entrepreneur journey 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago, actually. And I started with a mom blog and as a virtual assistant. That is how I began my journey. And really organically throughout having babies and adding businesses, I've done everything from being a PR manager to obviously coaching. And coaching is my favorite. That is where I have landed. I love being able to help moms reach their dreams. And I'm very passionate about helping them not just reach their business dreams, but also their mom dreams, their dreams of being a mom that feels balanced. And I have an opinion about that word balance, but that's what most moms use, is to be able to work without the overwhelm. Because as I hear so many moms say, we choose to work, we choose to, whether you're working in a corporate, a 9-to-5, or you're working at home, we're making that choice for our family for a reason. And then we beat ourselves about it all the time. And it's my goal to help moms let go of that mom guilt, let go of that overwhelm, let go of that never ending to-do list, and embrace the fact that you get to make those choices for your family. And it's okay to be exactly where you are.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. And that definitely aligns with a lot what I talk about on this podcast as well. So I'm so happy that you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's funny you mentioned the word balance. So can you go into why you don't like that word and what would you use instead?
Okay, so balanced is this myth. I have yet to go on a rant about this on my own podcast, but I plan on it. It's this thing that we're like, oh, I just want to be balanced. I feel so unbalanced, or I'm trying to balance motherhood and business. And when you think of the word balance, it's an action word. I feel like moms expect us to somehow suddenly come to this point where we're like feeling like in smooth sailing. We don't, there's no moving from one side to the other, but balance really is like you're in a yoga pose. Let's just talk about yoga for a second. I'm not the best at yoga, but when I do yoga and they're like doing the tree pose where you're standing on one foot, what is happening? I'm balanced. I'm balancing. I'm making small shifts back and forth in my weight. Sometimes I actually fall over because I'm not that strong. And the more that I test that strength and the more that I do those small pivots and shifts, my muscles become stronger and stronger and stronger. And really, that is the best analogy I can use for myself and others is we aren't going to ever arrive at this balanced moment. Yes. What we are going to do is get strong in our ability to move from side to side and to adjust because, as soon as you figure something out in motherhood with our kids, they do a sleep regression or they start teething or they add a sport that we weren't expecting to do. And now we have that in our week. I mean, there's always something happening in motherhood, let alone, let's not even bring up the business side. Mm-hmm. That's always changing and pivoting, so I think that myth of, oh, I just want to be balanced in, between motherhood and my business. No, you find where you are strongest and where you feel comfortable and then stay there, make those little shifts. And sometimes you lean one way more heavily and sometimes you lean the other way. And don't forget, you're going to go back and forth. So I don't know if I have a perfect word for it yet, to be honest, but I do know if you could just picture yourself and getting stronger and more confident in your ability to make those little shifts. And sometimes they'll be so subtle, you don't even know you're making them.
Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah, I think it kind of relates to sort of like the elusive work-life balance too. Mm-hmm. Like when I was working my corporate job, everyone talked about like this work-life balance and how you were supposed to achieve it. And I was like, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's not possible. And there is no definition to it. It really is learning to be balancing and be comfortable balancing. Like that thing of going back to the analogy with yoga, when I haven't done yoga for months, like right now I'm getting back into doing yoga as almost every day. It's very uncomfortable right now and I'm not strong. But the more that I do it and the more that I practice and I expect it to happen and I know what's coming, it's going to get easier. I think that is really what we're looking for as moms, balancing either work life or mom and business, whatever that may be.
For sure. Yeah, I love that yoga analogy. I do yoga every day as well. So yeah, I definitely, that's a good analogy to compare it to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you talk a lot about like helping moms invest in themselves. Yes. And really this idea of, helping moms, invest in themselves and get to a place where they feel fulfilled, they're passionate about what they're doing. And what would you define as investing in yourself? I guess start with that, and then we can kind of go from there.
Absolutely. So anytime I invest in myself, it's where I am either spending time, money, or energy. Like other moms invest in themselves by taking a course or doing research. It's also investing in yourself if you take a nap. Those are all investments in myself. And then, I really think that there are different levels that you can take, but I know one thing for sure. We need to value ourselves as much as we do our kids. When it comes to my kids and like they need new shoes, they need new clothes, they want to join a sport, they want to, learn something new, I without hesitation invest in them. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, you're worth it. But when it comes to ourselves as moms, we're like, oh no, I can just Google that. I don't need to pay for that course. And I considered myself to be a Google search bar ninja for many, many years, where I just was like, I can figure that out. I can. But what I was doing on the flip side by investing, I was, just saying, oh, I can do it on my own with a Google search bar. I was losing out on my time. And I was also growing very slow because I was learning a lot, but I didn't know how to implement it for myself. And so I spent many years frustrated that I didn't have enough time to get everything done because I was spending so much time doing the research. I was spending so much time trying to figure out how to even apply this. And so investing in ourselves gives us back time, confidence, and even energy.
Yes, that's so true. And I think I was exactly the same as you. I was determined to do everything myself. I'm still working this corporate job. I'm just going to try to do this on the side. I'm going to try to figure it all out. But I think what you don't realize in doing that also is with courses you buy or with programs you buy or coaching you pay for, the mindset part of it that you're getting in return. I think that part of it is what launches you forward more than actually learning the technical things.
Absolutely. More than anything, the inspiration and the guidance is what truly gives me my money back. Because too often we get stuck in our heads. I know a lot. I went to a conference 5 years ago, my very first conference, and my husband and I were on the phone late at night during the conference. This is my very first one, going away and really truly investing in myself with a conference. And he's like, so did you learn anything new? And I'm like, no, not really. And he started laughing and he's like, you mean you learned nothing new? I was like, the things that they were talking about were not new, but what was powerful today was the way they taught me to implement it. And the inspiration of being able to do it like they did and things like that. And that is truly the value I got out of that first conference. Not that they said anything like, oh, I never knew that. It was, oh, wow, that's how you do it in my business.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of times we discount how powerful that is.
Absolutely.
So love that. Yeah. So what are 3 tips you can give moms who are they're ready to invest in themselves, but they're still a little nervous? Maybe they have to have that conversation with their husband also, or their spouse or their partner about is this really, maybe they're questioning, are you going to spend all this money on this thing? And is it even going to do anything? So what are 3 tips you can give them that they can take away today from this conversation?
Okay. So let's see. I would say number 1 is, are you tired of being where you are? You have to be hungry for something different. If you're not hungry enough, then you're going to question investing. You are. But if you're tired of staying stuck, if you're tired of not going any further, you're tired of being inconsistent, you're tired of the overwhelm, you're tired of not knowing for sure, you're tired of questioning all the things, then you're ready to invest and to go forward. When I hired my first coach, she asked me, she's like, so when do you really want to start? And I was like, yesterday, because I was tired of feeling like, I don't know what to do right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I should do this. I'm tired of feeling stuck. I'm tired of questioning whether or not my prices were right or my package was right or whatever the question was. I wanted to be moving forward yesterday and I needed her help. So if you're tired of staying stuck, number 2, if you have been growing and you know that you need help getting to the next step, then you're that's time. It's time. The thing about a coach or course or things like that is you get the guidance of people who have been there before you, have helped others get to the next level. And that guidance can save you so much time and propel you in a fast way. So if you're like, okay, I've been here, I'm ready to level up, then do it. And the other thing is to crunch some numbers. I just challenged somebody this morning that was talking to me about coaching with me, feeling a little bit of ooh, that's an investment. Should I do that? Mm-hmm. I challenged her. I said, go crunch some numbers. Yes, it is an investment, but what if you decided these are the 2 things that will help me recoup that money? If I do these 2 things and my coach helps me do these 2 things, I'll get all of my investment back. Of course, the goal is to do more than that, right? But just think about that. And that feels easy. So for me, when the first time I invested in a coach, I realized, oh, I only need to get one contract to pay for this. And if she helps me do that within the first 30 to 60 days, I've paid for all of my coaching. And that was a big relief. And also when I talked to my husband and said, she can help me do XYZ to get our money in our investment back. Plus I'll have these skills to do it again and again and again.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, you should do that now. Because he knew how hard I've been working, and me wasting, taking, like I said, that the very first step, the first tip was like, I could do it on my own, most likely. But how long would it take me to get there? I wasn't moving forward.
Yeah.
And I was ready to just make that investment because it's worth it. And I will tell you, with my first coaching and mastermind investment to my last one, I have made back multiple times over the investment that I have made. How about you, Kelly? Have you made back your investments?
For sure. So I actually just invested in a higher level coaching program this year, and it's with someone Shannon Matter.
Oh, I love Shannon. She was in my mastermind, or she is in my mastermind. She and I connected several years ago, and she's amazing. I'm so excited.
I love her. Yeah. So I'm in her coaching program right now for web designers. And I'm working through it. I just started in January, but I already feel just a higher level of confidence moving forward that I didn't have before. And I will say I did have a different career coach sort of in the past, and she really truly helped me push through like all the fears and all of the I can't do this. And so I think she really set me up for success in launching me into the entrepreneurship and getting my first clients and starting out and everything. And then now investing in this higher level program, I just see the path that I can take. And I had this similar conversation with my husband about it. I'm like, I could make back this investment in one client. And that's what got him. He's like, okay, I trust in you. I believe you could do it. So let's go ahead and let's do it. So I'm like, okay.
I love that. And really, you don't so just talking about logistics here, you're right now in a higher level coaching program. I'm in a very high level coach. So you're in a high level coaching program right now, but you didn't start out with a high level coaching program. You started with something more chewable, easier to take a bite of. So whether that's take a course. A lot of times that's our first investment in ourselves. Take a course, go to a conference, pay for there's a lot of free virtual conferences going right now with power ups. Yeah. Those are great investments. Those are your first step investments. However, the thing about courses and power ups and freebies and these conferences is I find a lot of times, maybe you're like me, Kelly, you take a lot of fabulous notes, you read a lot of amazing things, you take in all this content, but then you never implement it and it collects dust in your brain and on your desk. Okay. So that's a problem. And that's something that happens quite frequently. So you have all this great knowledge, but you don't have any strategy for implementation. So I highly recommend taking that first step of group coaching. So if you're worried about doing the one-on-one price of a coach, group coaching is a great way to step into that world of investment with somebody helping you grow, someone helping you focus on what your needs are in your business and work through all the mindset blocks that you have. Why aren't you implementing? What is that overwhelm? What are you avoiding in your business? Where are you stuck so that you can take those steps in a way that is affordable? You also get the accountability of other women in your group coaching program. I love my group coaching calls because I get to hear questions that I didn't even think to ask, and then get the benefit of hearing the answer for myself. And I didn't even have to take the time to ask it. I learned when I was a part of a group coaching program, that was my favorite part of the program, was getting on those group coaching calls. And then the camaraderie and friendship, support and accountability I got from my fellow members in the program was so valuable. Still to this day, some of my best friends who are recommending me to other clients, and I recommend them, and they're helping my business grow still, and I'm helping their business grow still. And then the natural progression is to go from group coaching to one-on-one and to keep taking those next steps up and forward. And it's easier as the investment gets larger, you understand the value and the return on your investment.
Definitely. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned like the summits and like the online conferences and things like that. Yeah. I was always signing up for things like that. And I'm like, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to follow all the steps and I'm going to quit my day job and I'm going to do this and do that. And it ended up being like, they're all during my day job. So I couldn't watch any of the live sessions. So then I had to like figure it out and try to watch it later after I got home from work, but I'd never get through all of them. And then I would never like implement everything. Maybe I took a couple things out of it, but yeah, it's definitely a different feeling when you're actually like, okay, this is the path I want to take. I know that this coach can help me and I'm going to actually sit down and do the work and figure it out and focus and put my focus into this.
Yes. And a lot of times, like, especially with like group coaching programs, they have a path for you to follow that is proven. So I'm opening up my group coaching program in March, and this program is specifically designed for mom entrepreneurs. You have to be a mom and an entrepreneur to join this program because we're going to work to sync up both the mom life and the business life in a way that is maximizing your limited time and minimizing the overwhelm. Because I see a lot of programs. This is just in general, just saying there's a lot of unique programs out there. Like you're going to one for web design. That's very awesome because you have a clear path for the business you want. There are some programs out there just for like marketing. There are group coaching programs for marketing. Mine specifically is designed to help the mom entrepreneur with her mom life and her business life and give her the tools she needs to make them sync up. That is specifically what my program is about. So you can find one tailored to your exact needs and stop guessing.
Yeah, I love that. I love how you're bringing both of those together because I've seen the entrepreneur ones and then I've seen the mom ones. And sometimes they're a little bit combined, but like you bringing both of those together, that is just amazing. Like, I can't wait to see what you do with that.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. And it's something that's needed because I noticed with my one-on-one coaching clients, most of them are moms, I was like, we're talking about your mom life just as much as we're talking about your business life because you cannot separate the two. You really can't.
Right.
And so I'm going to give you tools to grow your business because that's definitely a goal to double your income. But I'm also going to give you the tools to minimize the overwhelm, to cut the to-do list, all of that as well, and address the fact that sometimes mom life comes first and how to handle that instead of fighting against it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely just let things flow instead of be in the struggle, right?
Absolutely. And giving you a system that's customizable to your family's needs. That's the thing that I got frustrated. There was a course and program that I took, and the unrealistic expectations of this course were so discouraging to me because I'm a mom of 6 and I have kids with special needs. And there is no way I could follow that program. It left me so discouraged and frustrated because there was no room to alter it. She was like, you have to do XYZ, ABC time. And that's the only way you're going to grow. And it was so dogmatic. And I was like, well, that's just not going to work. It's just not. I can try, but then I will die at the end.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, that's great that you sort of came out of that and took that information and turned it into something positive. And now you're going to offer that piece that was missing. I think that's so great. And that's what I love about just working online and being an entrepreneur in general. You can just kind of look at everything you've gone through and like say, okay, that didn't work for me. That didn't work for me. That didn't work. So now I'm going to make something that works for these other moms.
Absolutely. I love it because we can see the gaps and then we can step in and fill those needs.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm loving this conversation so far. I think we're just hitting on a lot of great topics, and we touched a little bit on mindset. How do you sort of approach mindset, either, like in your business and your coaching? What mindset tips can you give to moms who are kind of just maybe stuck in their own head sometimes?
Absolutely. So that's the first step I take with all of my clients. And it's part of what I call the MOM method. That's a system I use, which stands for mindset, operations, movement, and marketing. With mindset, everything you are getting frustrated, overwhelmed, discouraged, we have to start there because it's maybe and most likely not what you're doing. It's how you feel about it. We're women. We don't separate our feelings from business. Let's just be honest about it. Okay. If we are getting zero sleep at night, that affects how we feel and our energy levels. And we also compare ourselves to other moms. We compare ourselves to social media people. And I found a mom who had 6 kids on Instagram, who's also a blogger when I was blogging at the time. And I was like, oh my God, she's a mom of 6. I got to follow her. I had to unfollow her because not that she was not a great mom, not that she wasn't a great blogger, but because it was making me feel terrible because I was filling in the details in between her stories and her feed and making up a fairy tale about how she was handling 6 kids so much better than me. And I don't know her. I don't know any of her life. I don't know what's behind the camera. I don't know if she just moved everything out of the way and took a picture. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have special needs kids. Maybe she doesn't have therapy 4 times a week for her children, whatever that. Maybe she has a house cleaner full time. I definitely didn't. So, I mean, whatever the case might be, I was making up these stories in my head, which was causing me to feel terrible about myself. And with us as women, especially I think as moms, we carry a lot of expectations. And so our mindset needs to adjust from overwhelm, frustration, beating ourselves up, feeling discouraged because we're not growing as fast as someone else, or our house isn't as clean as someone else, or as beautifully decorated with all the white couches and white walls and no marker stains or food stains anywhere, like that pressure we're putting on ourselves. What does that mean? Can we move forward when we're feeling that constantly? No. So how do we get out of that? And that's working through okay, accepting ourselves for where we are, who our kids are, what is most important to me. What's more important to me than a clean house is a great meal in our family. And I had to realize that I could care less if the floors are mopped, if I have a frozen dinner like that. I can't handle that. But other moms are like, I don't want to cook. And having a clean floor is very, very important to me. And so they're going to mop the floors and throw a frozen dinner in the oven. And that's important to them. So there's no right or wrong way to do motherhood. There's no right or wrong way to grow your business. It's accepting that you can choose what's right for you and your family and go at the pace that you want to go.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, let's stop the comparison.
Yeah. And embrace what you want.
Yeah.
For real, what is important to you? That's something I ask every mom. You have a different set of values. You have a different set of dreams. You have a different set of goals than I do. And you do not have to, I just recently talked to somebody who was I was like, what's your goal for your business? She's like, I just would like to make $2,500. I'm like, okay, is that your 1-year goal? She's like, no, that's just I'm good with that. I have no desire to make more than $2,500. That's not normal because most people are like, well, how am I going to get to 10K months? And I want to quit my 9 to 5. And she was just like, I want to stay at my day job. I like my day job. And I just want to make $2,500 a month because that will pay for our vacations and all the fun stuff every year without feeling any pressure about it. And I was like, awesome. Don't let anybody change your mind. There's no magic number where you have achieved success. I loved about this mom so much is she knew exactly what her goal was. She knew what she wanted for her family. And she felt comfortable in saying that. And I told her, don't let anyone make you feel guilty for making $2,500 when you hit that mark and not moving forward. And if you do change your mind, then heck yeah, let's do it. It's just keeping it within your goals and within your dreams and with what you have the capacity for.
For sure. I love that. Yeah. Everybody is not going to want the same things in life. And I think back to when I was working in corporate and this big sort of belief that you have to climb the corporate ladder.
Yep.
And I bought into it for a long time. And I was like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I got a master's degree and I'm supposed to just rise through the ranks of all of these different jobs. And that's the path I'm supposed to follow. But then one day I had to ask, is this really what you want to do? And it was no. It was no, I don't. That is not the path I want to go. I'm not going to be happy going down that path. So why am I trying to fight for it so much when it's not what I want?
Exactly. It's not a negative thing to stay where you are. If you're happy where you are, you don't have to want a bigger house. You don't have to want the next thing, whatever that might be. Mm-hmm. Be okay with leading into what your values are, what your wants are. And if you're like, because sometimes the next level means more stress or more work, because 10K months oftentimes means having a team. And if you don't want to manage a team, then don't have a goal of 10K months, or whatever that goal is, that, like, that's okay to like, okay, I want to keep it at this level because this feels right for me and my family. And this meets our needs. You can do that. You don't have to be this ambitious, like you said, climb the ladder person. If where you're at on the ladder is like, I'm good.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's like, okay, in this season of life, I'm good, but maybe in a couple of years from now, when my kids are a little older, maybe I'll be ready for that next kind of level, right?
Absolutely. And you can pivot and change, and knowing that it's okay to be like, when I accepted that, hey, I have 6 kids, 7 and under, I have to be realistic with my time and where my growth expectations are. Yeah. And when I accepted that and leaned into it, I enjoyed being a mom more. I enjoyed when I did work. I enjoyed my husband more because I wasn't like hustling nonstop and wearing myself to basically be in a breakdown mode, because I was letting other people pressure me. Like, if you don't grow now and you don't get in on Clubhouse right now or Facebook or Instagram, you're going to be missing out. Well, I might, but I'm also going to miss out on my kids' years of being littles.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that's so important for moms to realize. Like, there's different seasons of life. It's not always going to be this way. One day we're going to like miss them running around and bothering us. It's just so, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's okay to press your foot down on the gas pedal and to release it. And it's on your term, not on the pressure of social media or other leaders who are like, if you don't hustle now, you're going to miss the boat. I'm sorry, but I've been doing this for 10 plus years. The boat is always coming by. Get on it whenever you want to. Like, it's the ferry system. You might look different. It might be a little bit of a different journey, but you can jump on whenever you want. Social media is not going away.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's always going to be something out there. If you have a dream, if you have a goal to pursue, there's always going to be room for you to do it.
Always. There's never going to be a time where you're not allowed on the bandwagon. Just guys, don't tell yourself that lie. And again, that goes back to mindset. If we're lying to ourselves saying, well, I have to do it all right now, that's because it's going to go away. It's not going away. People, there are still bloggers making millions of dollars, and there are still new bloggers joining this blogging world every day and learning how to turn it into a business. There are, web designers. There's a ton of web designers out there. That doesn't mean there's not a room for you and that you can't serve people.
Exactly. And it's all about who sort of like your niche and like who you're looking to serve. There's so many variations in serve is what I've found by working online. It's not all just like, okay, I want to be a web designer, so I can only do these basic websites for businesses. You can like specialize and pick somebody that's totally niche that like nobody else has kind of focused on before.
And in fact, that gives you an advantage. A lot of times I myself have had this struggle in my own head is like, oh, well, if I narrow in on who I'm going to help, then I'm going to have less people to help. Actually, no, that means the people who you are ready to help will see you, will know you, will understand what you can offer in such a bigger way. That's why I tell people I'm a coach for mom entrepreneurs. I help moms double their income without doubling their to-do list, because I can help females. I love working with any female in the online space, but when I narrow it in, I use my messaging and I use the words you're using, like overwhelm and balance and frustration about, mom guilt, whatever that is. You relate to those words and your ears perk up.
So when you niche down, you can use the language that your people want, like use themselves and will listen to. And when they hear it, their ears pick up. So for me, it's using, I'm specifically going after mom entrepreneurs. to help them double their income.
I lost you again.
So when you niche down, you're able to use the words that your people use, which will make their ears perk up, which will make them pay attention to what you're saying and know that you're going to meet their needs. So for me, I'm a coach for mom entrepreneurs and double their income without doubling their to-do list. And moms pay attention to to-do list.
Yes.
They pay attention to words like overwhelm, balance, mom guilt. All of those words are words that I hear constantly from moms. And so they're going to pay attention to that. So niching down is actually one of the best things you can do for your business.
For sure. I think that for me personally was my biggest mindset shift in my business, was realizing that I could niche down and I would still have enough interest and enough client interest out there for niching down. Because I think that's a big fear of a lot of entrepreneurs is if I niche, then I'm excluding all these other people that might be out there willing to pay me.
Yeah. And honestly, I found that people still find me no matter what. But I convert more because I am using the right words instead of it being like, if you are, let's say you're a fitness coach and you're like, I help people create their best life. Okay, great. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, what's the best life? No, if you say you help moms get healthy, accept their new bodies, and get over their postpartum blues, then I'm going to pay more attention to you because I'm a new mom or I'm struggling with my body and the way it looks now. I don't know how to get healthy again. So giving more specifics, more details actually helps you narrow in and get more people to pay attention to you.
Definitely. Yeah. It is a lot about the language that you use. And if it grabs their attention and all of the terms you use are the same ones I'll use for my podcast, for my blog, for all my working mom content, because it is things that moms are constantly searching for.
Absolutely. And we want to be able to make that connection because when you think about commercials, it's about how you feel. And you are a marketing agent, you have a marketing team, and you probably are it in your business. And that's exactly what these big corporations do. They target an audience, they target gender, they target, part of the country with their marketing. And that's the same, you're doing the same thing on a different scale.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. So Lani, is there any other advice you'd like to give moms? So specifically, like maybe moms that are looking to start or grow or nurture their current business, or moms that are looking to just pursue their goals and dreams because maybe they've set them aside for a while and they're ready to get back to that.
Absolutely. The first thing I always start with moms wanting to go to the next level, take on the new dream, expand the one that they have, or, grow, is to first look at the time you have available. Set up your expectations with the time that you have and don't stretch yourself thin. Maximize your time. That will help you to not feel like, oh, I'm overworking or I'm too tired. I mean, there's always a time to hustle or to, push a little harder, but start there. And then the second thing is to get an accountability person in your life, whether that's paying for a coach or finding a business bestie. Having that encouragement in your everyday business, working, growth life is worth gold.
Yeah, love that. Love that so much. So I just have a couple of more questions for you. I sort of ask every guest a little lightning round just to find out a little bit more about you and what you're working on. So what is something you'd consider to be like a non-negotiable practice in your life that you have to do every day so you can start or end your day positively?
Oh, besides a cup of coffee in the morning?
That totally counts.
That's one of my big ones. I think just checking in with my spouse, having every morning and every night we check in with each other and just make sure to give them a hug and check in and say, what is your day going to look like? And then trying to tell him what my day is going to look like. So we have expectations of if I know his day is going to be crazy hard, I know I can support a little extra with the kids or vice versa. If I know my day is going to be really packed full and I'm going to be tired at the end of the day, knowing at the beginning of the day that to expect that helps us so much. And it's helped our marriage a lot. because we're a team.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, checking back in and making sure that we're both where we need to be, because we got 6 kids, guys. They take up a lot of our time and attention. So this is one of the things that makes my day feel positive when we're not checking in and we're like wondering why each other is cranky or tired. It's like, well, I had a long day and I had a big day and you didn't help me, but also didn't tell you about it. So how can I expect you to know? So having that communication has been so amazing.
That's a good one. Yes. Communication is definitely a good thing to have there in your relationship. So love
Absolutely.
that.
Highly recommend it.
Like you said, you have 6 kids. What is your favorite working mom hack to sort of get you through a hectic or difficult day? So say like things just aren't going right. Everything's like kind of chaotic. What do you do to sort of like ground yourself?
For me, like I said, I'm a self-proclaimed foodie. Okay. I'm just going to say it. So good food is important to our family. I make sure to always have on hand fast meals, last minute meals. So let's say I don't feel like cooking a big meal, but I really want to eat a good meal. I make sure to have like on hand our go-to 5 favorites that are fast, 30 minutes or less. And when I don't have those ingredients on hand, I feel the pain, guys. I feel the pain, and then also having a meal plan so that when you do have those hectic days thrown in, you have that in your back pocket. You're not struggling to think what is for dinner, because with 6 kids, somebody is always hungry.
I can imagine. Yeah. Those are great tips. So who would be your favorite like podcasters, bloggers, like a favorite author or other expert that has really influenced you in your life?
Oh gosh, that's such a loaded question. I think recently Atomic Habit has really impacted me, the book, and the author's name is totally slipping my mind and I have no idea where my phone is. So I don't even know what to look up his name.
I'm actually supposed to read that for a book club this month.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I was already using a lot of his methods and principles. Listening to that book, I've actually I listened to it on Audible like 2 to 3 times now in the last year. Like that's how much I know its impactfulness is. As far as like bloggers and podcasters, when I was blogging, I love the Thrive Blogger podcast. That was a great one as a blogger to listen to. And then I was able to be a guest on it a lot. And I just really enjoy Bree, who is the leader there. She's amazing. I also love Market Like a Boss with Michelle Broom. She's amazing. She's got great tips. If you have a service-based business like I do, that's a great one to listen to. And I love the abundant mindset that she brings to the table, where she's going to give as much as she can. And there's plenty of room for everyone.
I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I love mindset podcasts.
Yeah. And she also gives so much great, valuable advice on marketing. If you're wanting to grow about marketing, learn more about marketing yourself, that's another great one as well.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing those.
Absolutely.
So what are you currently working on within your business that you're most excited about?
So it would definitely be the group coaching program. It's called the Profitable Mom Club, and the MOM is for the Mom Method. So that will be launching this month. I'm going to be doing a challenge to teach you the Mom Method in 3 days and how that can be used in both your business life and your mom life. And that will be March 22nd through 25th. I don't know if this podcast will come out before that or not, but it's going to be awesome. And if you come in later and you missed it, this is just a really cool program where we're going to be working on both our mom life and our business growth at the same time. I have an amazing community over on Facebook, the Brilliant Mompreneur Society. And this is just going to take that group's level of engagement, support, and camaraderie to the next level.
That sounds absolutely amazing. And yeah, I'll post all of the information. If you have links to share, I'll put them all in the show notes so people can get in there and sign up for all of that.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you.
No problem. So the only other question I have is, where can people follow you online? Where do you hang out the most often? And where do you want them to come find you and join all of your great resources?
So definitely come join the Brilliant Mompreneur Society on Facebook. That is definitely where I hang out the most. And I go live in the group every week with a training, whether it's on mindset, operations, like setting up systems in your business, in your mom life, and then also talk about marketing and moving forward and making growth in your business. So one of those three things is happening every week. There's lots of conversations. There's places for you to network with other moms and connect with other moms working in similar business, or maybe your ideal client is even in my group. I would love it if you made a connection that caused you to get some business there. And then also on Instagram, I'm at Lani Jackson, and you can find me there.
Sounds great. Yes, I've loved your Facebook group and also the coffee chat. That was amazing.
Yes, we're planning on doing those. So at least once a month. I'm trying for 2 if we can fit into the schedule. I host a coffee chat on Zoom where it's everybody can join in. We get to talk, connect with each other. If you're struggling with something, you're looking for something, you're looking for someone to join your team, or you're looking for someone to give you feedback on something casual. And it's a great way to connect with other moms when oftentimes, especially this last year, we've been so isolated, and social media is great, but it feels impersonal a lot of times.
Yeah.
These coffee chats really connect face and a person behind the little icon with your name.
Definitely. Yes. The last year has been very isolating. And even for us introverts, I consider myself an introvert, but it has still been isolating, and it's just nice to sort of find those groups that you can connect with. So definitely everyone go check out Lani's resources, her Facebook group, and the coffee chats. They're all amazing for coming on the podcast and sharing all of this great information with everyone. I'm really happy to have you on here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be able to do this with you and partner with you, and looking forward to getting to know you even better in the future. I love getting to network with you.
Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning into the Moms with a Purpose show today. I am so grateful that you've decided to listen to my podcast. I am so excited to continue bringing you valuable content that will help you in your purposeful and passion-filled mom life going forward. So if you enjoyed the content on this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. In addition, I want to invite you to join my Facebook group called Moms with a Purpose. I will leave the link in the show notes, but I would really love for you to join. We touch on all of the topics talked about on this podcast, plus feature free challenges and a chance to meet other purpose-driven moms that are out there following their passions and pursuing their dreams just as you are in their own unique ways. So I would love to see you in the Facebook group. Until next time, have a great week, and thank you so much for tuning in.